Hello, I'm Alan Williams and Dave Stubberfield. We're the co-authors of Supercharging the Customer Experience, and we're just going to talk about how the whole journey started. So Dave, do you remember when we met at Liverpool Street Station and that blinding flash of a question that came up?
I do, and the question was, with all the content out there, why is a great customer experience so rare? And I think that really started from the experiences we had that day, getting to meet, the coffee, and those kind of interactions we had where we were the consumers led us to that conversation of, we think that there's a lot of content out there, but not a lot of context. And I think that's where our conversation started to flow, really, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And when we thought about it, it really struck me how a lot of the training that I've seen is all about, here's a load of stuff, and just pumps it all out there. But actually, that's not the point, because unless you're able to apply it in your context, it's a bit of a waste of time, right?
Absolutely. And that word came up so many times, context, didn't it? We kind of talked about the content and then the context, and we both kind of went, yeah, there's a word there that we can lean on. And I think for us, talking about that was the training courses and all the content out there. A lot of it is, now you've had your training course or your session, now go on and do, and there's very little in way of application, I think.
Yeah. And then the other bit that I remember thinking, hey, this is really good, is that the word content, if you switch the N for the X, you get context. And that's how CX in Context was born as the title. But what about the way that organizations go about customer experience as well? Because some of them create a function and think that that's going to work. So what's your view on that?
Yeah, I think it's evolved as a topic naturally in the last 10 to 15 years. And I think a lot of people adopt it, like you said, as a function because they have to be seen to be doing it. But I think a lot of people don't understand that it needs to have alignment across the entire organisation. And that was the key for us when we were talking about the book, is it needs to be across the entire organisation rather than a function. The function still has its importance to kind of keep things central, governance, but really it needs that total alignment for whatever role you might do in that organisation. You have to have some sort of CX awareness.
Yeah, and it's this thing about customer experience being more like a philosophy or a culture for everybody, rather than somebody being able to say, oh, customer experience is managed over there, so it's actually not my job.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get confused with customer service versus customer experience. So there's the service team over there, for example. That doesn't mean they're responsible for customer experience. That responsibility lies with everyone.
Yeah. So that conversation and those two topics were the beginning, and as they say, the rest is history.
Absolutely was, yeah.